Hello, this video is all about how to start making money, even if you are starting from zero. Let's be honest, most of us as young people don't have money lying around that you can just proceed to live and then go and invest or even start a business. As a result of this, most of the great financial advice out there doesn't fit into the reality of us as young people. In this video, what I seek to do is to break down 4 simple steps that can allow you to begin to make money and then also position you for greater returns later on. My name is Kobina. This is the Expert Links. If you like what we do here, kindly feel free to like the video and also subscribe to this channel. Let's dive right into it. Step 1. Identify anything that you can do that will bring you any form of income. So at this stage, all that you are going to do is to look for something that you can currently offer. Remember, we starting from zero doesn't necessarily mean we have nothing to offer. Look for something that you can do that can bring you a form of income. The income at this stage shouldn't be something huge or something great. All that matters is identify a skill, identify a business or anything that you can do, get into, that's going to bring you a form of income. In my case, what I did is I went ahead to learn graphic design. So now graphic design was more like my tool that was bringing me that income. So the key takeaway at this stage is find something that you can do that will bring you any form of income. Step 2 is reinvest in that skill. All that you do at this stage is the money making skill that you identified in step 1, right? The skill that you identified that gives you money, you are going to reinvest into that. In my case, what I did was I had graphic design as my money making tool. So what I went ahead to do was to reinvest into that. By investing, some of the things I did was, 1, I went ahead to subscribe to Envato. So basically, Envato is a platform that allows you to get a lot of creative assets, right? From music to graphic design templates to fonts to video editing templates and all that. So the little money I had made from my graphic design, I went ahead to reinvest into that. And then by doing that, now I was able to get a lot of templates for most of the work I did. And then I was able to get quality and proper assets to integrate in my work. And doing this simple stuff now in return impacted how much I was making from the graphic design I started with. Another investment I did at this stage was I invested into something called Skillshare. That is for my case. Skillshare also is just a platform that allows you to learn a lot of skills from graphic design to copywriting to video editing to painting. There are lots of things on Skillshare, and then you can do all to check that out. I'll do all to leave a link in the video description below. So now, from making little with graphic design, by me reinvesting into that Envato and all that, that had a direct impact on the amount of money I was making. At this stage, what I went ahead to do through Skillshare was to start to learn video editing. And video editing in my case was paying much better as compared to graphic design. So all that you need to do now is identify something that's as we discussed in the step 1. And now when you identify that and then you begin to make money out of it, don't misuse the little money you get from the first step, right? But rather proceed to reinvest it into that same skill so that you can increase the amount of money you are getting from that point. The mistake a lot of young people do is when we begin to make money from the step 1, that is, if you identify something that is giving us money, we quickly try to move away from that into a new area which we are not much confident about, and then we end up losing the little money that you've come up with. So in order to avoid that, just reinvest into that. And by reinvesting into that, you realize that now you have a tool or you have a system that is giving you money. And then now you've found a way to increase that income. Now this brings us to step 3. In step 3, what you're going to do is to learn a high value skill. If you are following very well, you will realize that we've moved from zero to a point where we have a skill that is kind of giving us a form of income. And then we've proceeded to reinvest into that skill. And now we have a slightly much better income as compared to what we were getting in step 1. So now in step 3, all that you're going to do is you're now going to begin to learn something of a higher value. That will also increase the amount of money you get. So in my case, what I did was I began to learn something in cloud computing, right? So that was somehow a bit different from what I've been doing all this while. That is from graphic design, bringing in video, which had increased my income. And now I transitioned into a high value skill, which was cloud computing. Always remember this. Because I had gone through the step 1, step 2, and now I had something doing which was bringing me a form of income, right? studying the cloud computing wasn't too difficult. One mistake we tend to do as young people is we always want to jump into areas that will bring us huge money without going through the first two steps we discussed. So now we want someone to jump into cybersecurity, someone wants to jump into software engineering and all that. And then once they begin to study that, they realize that they are even hungry, they don't have money even to do the basic stuff. And then once you don't have focus, you can't learn these high value skills properly. So that's why it's very crucial for you to understand the things you discussed by far. If you understand these things and then you go through the step 1, step 2, and then you get to this point and then you are learning your high value skill, you realize that you're able to focus on it very well. And the moment you focus on it very well, you tend to grow properly, right? Because now, although you are studying a high value skill, in your period of studying that, you have something that is bringing you a decent income. So it's very important and it's very crucial to note at this stage. Now, step 4, position yourself to be seen. So if you are going through the steps we have discussed by far, now you've moved from someone who had zero to now having a money-making tool that was giving you something little. You went ahead to take action by reinvesting into it to get something greater, and now you've come ahead to learn a high value skill, which you are looking forward to 10x what you are currently getting, right? So in order to do that, you have to position yourself to be seen. And some of the things you can do to position yourself is applying for gigs, getting into paid internships, getting into freelancing, getting into remote jobs, and all those things. In conclusion, it's possible to transition from zero to position yourself at getting a much better income. If you follow the 4 steps we've discussed by far, I can assure you, you'll be in a much better position to transform the amount of money you get as a young person. Please, if you enjoyed the video, kindly click on the like button and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Do also leave a comment below telling us what you're going to do to start making money. Thank you for watching. Catch you in the next one.